Oh, hey guys, I'm Dylan Dixie.
I'm Sky P.
Today.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Oh my god. Oh shit. Hey yo, bro, why did you pause?
I didn't pause. I said go ahead. She talked. I stopped.
You said
Okay, go ahead.
Me, it's your turn.
Oh my god, wait,
No,
hold on.
Oh my god. Hold up,
Hey,
bro.
Hey guys, my name's Kelsey.
Oh Lord.
Terrible.
Welcome to season 2 episode. Kelsey's game. So today we have Kelsey here, and she's a local of ours, and she's the leader of our facility soccer team. She's a leader of our school soccer team, and she has been for 2 years. So we're gonna interview her today on exactly how sports is like during COVID and exactly what she does and how the games play out during COVID. So that being said, Kelsey, it's nice to have you here, obviously. But we're gonna go ahead and jump into the questions. So, what is it like coaching a team during COVID?
Okay, so starting off, I would just like to say that I feel like I was more of a leader rather than a coach, because being a captain, you know, you're still like part of the team. So I would never put myself like, I would never like say I was coaching a team. I would just say I would be like leading them. And I would say the group of girls that we had this year was, you know, we were all optimistic about, you know, what was going on, and we all wanted to play. You know, that was the end game. That was what we wanted. We just wanted to play the games. It didn't matter how many practices we had. We just wanted to play. There was some challenges because, you know, halfway through, I don't know if you remember this, but the school got shut down for 2 weeks. So everyone had to be remote for those 2 weeks, and that was during our season. So we had to stop practicing and playing for 2 weeks in the middle of our season while all the other teams were practicing and playing. So we had a little disadvantage there. But, you know, we came back and we stepped it up, and it didn't really matter because we were all just so focused on working together, you know? So that's my answer to that.
Yeah, no, that definitely sounds, you know, as far as when it comes to saying you was more of a leader. Like I get that. The leader role and position itself it's almost like how do I explain? Like, you know your role, and everybody else knows their role, but like you gotta like you have to set an example for like everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I completely understand that. As far as, you know, like you wasn't really coaching them, but like everybody, you know, they wanted to play. And we did have that 2 week break of where no one really was like doing too much of nothing. Like I assume, because I did it myself, I got a little bit lazy on like certain things that I was supposed to be doing and keeping up with myself. So I know getting back into the game, it was probably more of a longer thing, as far as, you know, like getting back into like the formations, you know, how things are played, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, like, we had a little vacation, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely, I definitely get what you mean there. Scott, you got any questions?
No, not really. I do know how it is to be like a leader, and I know it's not necessarily the easiest thing because everyone kind of they see you as like a step above them, but they don't at the same time. And sometimes it's really hard to like rally your troops, especially when like there's certain issues going on. But I do understand that it's hard. Like, it's hard, and it's like a really good position to be in. So anyway, I guess we'll move on to the next question. How do you feel the pandemic has affected your sports?
So, for the years prior, we used to hang out right before the games. We would have these things called pasta parties, and we would choose a house and we would basically have a pasta party. We would eat pasta. We would play games. It was like team bonding right before the games to kind of get us, you know, hyped up and ready for the game, especially if it was a big game. We would make sure that we had a pasta party. And of course, this year, because of COVID, we couldn't do those things. We couldn't be together, which, was unfortunate. But in that circumstance, it's not like we had a disadvantage when it came to all the other teams, because all the other teams couldn't do the same thing either. But I would think that that's really the only thing that affected us, because outside of being able to come together, we were pretty strong. We were just focusing on how we were playing, because when we touched the pitch, when we were inside of the field, it didn't really matter what was going on outside. We were just focused on that game, that practice at that moment. It was more so like the activities outside of when we were practicing or when we were playing.
No, I get that. I get as far as like I get what you mean by you was focused on exactly what you were doing and how the game was being played on the field, and not as far as focus on what everything was going outside. I totally understand that, because when you're on the field, you're on the field. You gotta pay attention. You gotta make sure you know what I mean. Like you gotta make
it's like when I'm in a game, like my social life, my school, everything is just out the window. Like it's just I'm playing right now and I'm focusing on this game, and that's all that matters to me in that 90 minutes or however long those games are, depending on if it's a tournament or whatever. So yeah.
I know I get that. But real quick, I don't mean to cut you off, Sky. Now, let me holler at you right quick. Now, about this pasta situation. Now, I'm a more of a chicken Alfredo or chicken cutlet Alfredo type of person. What type of pasta y'all be having?
So it honestly depends, but I have celiac, so I can't eat regular pasta. I can't have gluten or I will get like majorly sick. So I have to have this thing called rice pasta. I just bring it. But honestly, it just depends on like who the host is. Like it's not really, sometimes it'll just be spaghetti, sometimes it'll be buttered noodles, sometimes it'll be penne, sometimes it just depends.
No, I definitely get that. Now, how are the games different from now and I'll take that back, from then to now, because now that we have COVID, like how do the games regulate and how are they like different?
I would say they're different in two ways. One of them being right before every game and actually every practice, we would have to fill out a COVID form questionnaire. Like it was just repetitive. Every day we would have to take our temperature and answer yes or no to those questions, and that would determine if we were allowed to go to practice. And the second thing being recruited. So this year it was really hard for kids to be recruited because there was no showcases. We couldn't, these colleges, the coaches, they couldn't come out to see us. We weren't, going out to these games because most of them were being canceled. And during the high school season, people were being restricted from coming to the games. So being recruited was probably a major thing. And that's something that I'm trying to focus on right now. I am talking to a few coaches, but I feel like it's being delayed a little bit because of what's going on, which is unfortunate, but there's nothing I can really do. It's kind of out of my control at this point.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, I get that. Like, trying to get recruited is very stressful.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of my friends are like trying to get recruited right now. And even back when I was playing football, like when I was, what was that, like 5 years, further than that actually, when I was younger, like I had coaches coming to my games and it was just something normal for me and not like, I didn't realize like that people were there. And like, as you get older, like you see like, oh snap, like the coaches aren't here anymore. It's going to be really hard to get recruited. And, like, because like the way, our school's built up, they kind of dump all their resources into football. So like, I definitely do understand why like it would be harder for someone playing a different sport to, get recruited.
Yeah, 100%. Our school's main focus is football. It's pretty stressful because we had a pretty good record this year. We only lost one game, and that was a championship game that we lost when we went to the finals. Our season was cut in half and we played really well together. So I felt like maybe we deserve a little more credit, but
Yeah, no,
it is what it is.
y'all did how do I explain? Y'all did exactly what y'all came there to do, which is play the game the best of y'all ability. Now I'm not saying that what's it called? I'm not saying the way that y'all played was like lacking or nothing. I'm not saying none of that at all. What I'm saying is
Right.
don't like take it hard on yourself, like if you didn't win the game. Because
Right.
at the end of the day, like there were some things that, like came into play as far as, COVID and practices and all that. So I completely understand what you mean and how you feel about like how the games are going.
Yeah.
But going from that, so what other sports do you play besides soccer?
So this year this year's my first year not playing softball. I quit because of the whole recruiting thing, but I've played softball my whole life. I was always, softball, soccer, those were my two sports. But I just picked back up figure skating. I used to figure skate when I was little, and I started doing it again because it's a stress reliever. It's just so fun. And also when I was little, I used to play every sport under the sun. I used to play basketball. I used to do karate. I used to do dance. What else? I used to horseback ride. I wanted to play hockey when I was little, but my brother got that one. So yeah.
Yeah, no, figure I ain't gonna cap. Your homie ain't good on ice, let alone on skates. But I know figure skating is like it's a very patient sport. Like you have to it's a very leg strengthening and a very like time consuming sport as far as when it comes to like being on the ice and balancing. Like you have to have like focus. Like you gotta be in that joint. You gotta pay attention.
Yeah, or you might fall and like end up in the ER. But no, it's fun. I used to, when I was little, I used to be really good. Like I used to do the little like spins and jumps. So I've got that with me. I mean, I can't do that now, but at least I know how to move around and get where I need to go.
Yeah, no, definitely. I definitely feel that. Sky, you got anything you want to add?
Yeah, actually, when I was younger, I used to try to play like multiple things because it was kind of boring, like, just sitting in my house all the time. So like I did football, I started baseball, and then I did like 2 weeks of karate, but I just didn't like it. So I don't know. I just couldn't stand it. So yeah, that's it. But going on to the next question is, have you ever thought about doing soccer full time?
So my dad, he always tells me like, Kelsey, you can go professional, you can do it. And I don't know. I thought about it, but I'm more of a science person. I want to get a degree in either biology or psychology. So I don't think that I'll ever play professionally, just because that's not something that I don't think I could do. I think my interests are more in going to college and getting a degree and getting a career after that. But I have had experience playing internationally. When I was 14, I was selected to play on a team that went to Ireland, and we went to Ireland and we played in the Limerick Cup and we won the championship. And I had a shutout the whole tournament, which basically means, so since I'm a goalkeeper, no one scored on me that whole tournament, which was like crazy. And one of my favorite experiences, like, which was insane, I still think about this because I don't think I'm ever going to do it again, was our coach took us to a semi-pro game in Limerick, and at halftime the goalkeeper coach, who I'm close with now, he's actually the coach at Jefferson University. He took me and like 4 or 5 other goalkeepers out on the field, and during halftime we were doing all these cool shooting drills, and the people behind us were like cheering us on, and it was so cool because we were in the stadium, and it was just like something that you never want to forget. It was amazing.
So let me get this straight. So you went to Ireland, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And you played in a championship game.
Correct.
And you won.
Correct. Yes.
And you came home from that trip, right?
Mm-hmm.
With a trophy, I assume.
There was only one trophy, and the coach got it, but I got a little flag.
Let me tell you something. Anytime you go anywhere else, all right, but I'm gonna focus on Ireland. Next time you go back to Ireland and you win, you gotta ask them for the freshest potatoes, and you gotta leave.
No. Okay, so I stayed at Limerick University. I stayed at the university because that's where the tournament was. 2 days prior to that, me, my mom, and my 2 aunts, we flew into Dublin, which is on the east side of Ireland. And we stayed there, and we walked around, and we did all these cool things. And I met some of my family that was traveling there too, they live in Texas. But we met up with them, which was cool because they were going back and forth from Ireland to England because they're like travel people. They love to travel. So we flew into Dublin for 2 days, and then after that, we took a train to Limerick, which is on the west side, and it was a few hours, but it wasn't bad because it was just really pretty watching all of the scenery. It was just really cool. So when we got to the dorms, which were really neat, we put our stuff down, and then we went to the pavilion, which was like the food area, which is where they would serve the food. And with every meal, they would serve some sort of form of potatoes, whether it was French fries, baked potatoes, something. It was always like potato soup, like it was crazy.
Did you get sick of it?
Yes, because they would serve us potatoes for breakfast, and then for lunch they would serve us like pasta, but then they would have fries on the side, and I'm like, what the heck? And then I wouldn't even go there for dinner because it would just be like chicken and baked potato, and I'm just like, oh my god, there's so many, what the heck? And turns out I'm allergic to potatoes. So that was a whole nother story on top of itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
That must have not been fun. Okay.
Yeah, which is weird because I'm very Irish. Like I took the ancestry thing where you do your DNA.
Yeah.
And I came back with my results, and I was very Irish. So that's kind of sad. That was the main place.
Ireland's definitely a beautiful place though. I had some family members go out there, and like, they checked it out and they were like, yeah, it's really nice. Like I would think about living here.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. I'm just getting word that we have a sponsor for this video. Huh, well, I'll let it play, I guess. Hi, I'm Tyler Jimbread, and I've got a hell of a product for you. Tired of waking up to no coffee in the morning? Or maybe your stash of borderline illegal energy drinks is getting low again? Well, I've got the solution right here. A dangerously delicious way to enjoy your drowsy mornings, with a twist. Jimbread's Energy Bread, bread for when you're drained both physically and emotionally. Have it with turkey, jam, cheese, geese, ham, fuck it, have it with clam. It's a delightful touch to your breakfast, lunch, and yes, even dinner with our decaf style. This isn't your average white bread. Why? Not because of the fact it comes in 6 unique colors and flavors. This bread is something else. It's got built-in synthetic electrolytes and a newly discovered caffeine-like substance. This shit'll have you up for hours. Remember sleep deprivation? Sleep depro what? That's right, it's a thing of the past now. Don't believe us? Take it from our customer.
I've been up for so long with bread, energy bread. 53 going on to 50.
This is not only a tasty way to stay refreshed, but it's absolutely healthy in every way, shape, and form. There have been no cases of ill symptoms arising from Jimbread's Energy Bread, so get it while you can, and come out to our store and...
I was about to make a joke. Do you know that movie with Tom Cruise, Sky, we watched in like history class? It was called Far and Away.
This guy.
What?
Bro, sorry. So it was a movie, right? It had Tom Cruise in it. And you know, Tom Cruise, he's a smooth dude. So he went to go. It was like when the great like people from Ireland were immigrating over to America, and how like you know how their life was, or whatever. It was very historical. It was very educational. They already know my boy Tom Cruise, so he said, "All right, cool. You trying to take my daddy land? I'm gonna go kill you." So he went, he went to this dude's house and basically kill him. However, he was not expecting this dude to have a daughter that he found attractive. Exactly, that he found attractive. So then he said, then he said to himself, "All right, cool. I can't get caught because if I get caught, they gonna execute me." So
no.
So he was like, "All right, cool. Let me try to escape." So he goes to escape. The daughter screams or whatever, right? Daughter screams, makes a loud noise. The dad knocks him out, and the girl winds up taking care of him. He wakes up, and you already know he on grind time. He trying to leave. He not about to get executed in no potato field. So he said, "Cool." So he said to the girl, he said, "Hey, want to go to America?" And the girl was just sitting there for a good minute. And this is where like Scott, you know David, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So me and David were sitting there goofing off. We were laughing like, bro, like, is she gonna answer? Because the movie literally sat there with like her walking around the room for a good 5 solid minutes. And she goes, "Yeah, I'll go to America." Tom Cruise throw a brick out the window, take her out the window, steal a horse carriage, and manage to hop on a boat and go.
That's Tom Cruise. No, that's Tom Cruise for you.
I have no recollection of that movie.
Oh, I remember that movie. Scott.
He was like, "Do you remember that movie?"
Scott,
We're
look,
like, no.
You already know how I am with movies.
Yeah, like I said, I have no recollection of that movie.
It sounds like a mission. It sounds like a Mission Impossible movie.
No,
like,
this
what?
wasn't Mission Impossible. This is Mission Potato. All right, he was trying to go.
Are you sure it was Ireland?
Yes, it was. All right. Look, Trevor, right here. Pull a small clip of the movie up, please. Just right here. Put it right here. I don't care where you put it.
You sure like he didn't ride on the underside of the boat while like fighting 6 sharks or anything like that?
Listen,
like,
this is Tom
Mission
Cruise.
Impossible.
No. This is called Far and Away. I watched the movie and I remember it back to back.
Wait, he was young in this.
Exactly. Hey,
wait, when was this? This was released in 1992.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, Thomas Gibson plays in this. Do you guys know who that is?
No.
Have you guys ever seen Criminal Minds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know the guy who plays Hotch?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Does he look younger?
I mean, yeah, a little bit, but he still looks like himself.
That's amazing. But real quick though, so I know we got a little bit stirred off topic, but is there anything else you want to add as far as social media or?
I think that COVID affects everyone, not even just athletes, but everyone, was our mental health. And I know that people are like, oh, like, you know, everyone talks about mental health or whatever, but on a serious note, there are some people that are suffering because being inside all the time, it can really drain you. And I know that sounds contradictory, but
no, don't. You keep going.
Yeah. But like, we are social beings. We are meant to be in contact with each other, and you know, when you strip that away from people, that's just not the best for your mental health. And obviously, like, there's nothing that we can do but to try to stay in contact with our friends virtually, safely. Yeah, I feel like during that time when COVID was in its prime, we were kind of like panicking, and you know, sports was like on the backside of my mind because obviously, like, it wasn't the main part of my worries. It was just kind of like, am I gonna play? Am I not gonna play? Which thankfully we did play. Even though our season was cut short, I'm just thankful that we played. You know, I'm just glad that I got to play because of what I accomplished this year. Actually, if you don't mind me saying, I did receive All-State, and I did receive All-Team Area and All-South Jersey. which and last year I received all conference, but this year was I stepped up my game a little, and yeah, so that was, and it's important to everyone. And I know that some people talk about like, oh, like safety, obviously safety is the most important thing, but being stuck inside, it stinks, it really does. And I feel like through sports, it really helps me kind of forget about everything. It was kind of just like a getaway from what was going on in the world.
No, I completely understand with that, because as far as like, because me and Scott, we did two different episodes on this topic, right?
Yeah,
like this is back in season 1, but we did two different episodes regarding on how COVID like affects people, and how the little things, like I remember one of the main topics I brought up was you're not used to your place of relaxation being your place of work. So you got to learn to manage the two, as far as, like just doing little different things. And I remember telling Sky, like, I redid my entire room top to bottom. I painted my walls, put different, stuff up. I reorganized my room a little bit to make it look and seem like I was in a different place, but I wasn't, because waking up to the same thing and doing the same thing every single day, it gets repetitive. It gets a little bit annoying, and you start to get frustrated.
Definitely.
Yeah, which I completely understand. Now, I'm not saying that I ain't do a good job. Like this room, like, hey yo, like you ever need your room rearranged? $30. I'll do your whole room top to bottom.
You're gonna get like
I'll paint, I'll clean, I'll put carpet down. All right, I got you. I'm talking the good insulin underneath the carpet, keep your carpet warm, you know what I'm saying? So you walk your toes up on it, you know what I'm saying? Get your nice and feet heated. I got you. I put that all in there. Top to bottom, $30. Anyhow.
What if I have hardwood floors?
I'll take that shit off. I'll do it. Take it off.
I like hardwood floors.
You must like waking up the cold feet. Anyhow.
Art.
Oh no, you can get it too. I mean,
that's
art.
But yeah, so we definitely did have a major conversation on how you're not used to, your living space or your place of relaxation being a place of work, and you really do have to manage it too. And mentally wise, we are social beings, as Kelsey was saying, but we actually do need to have some interaction with someone else, you know what I'm saying, as far as whether it being via phone call, FaceTime, or just even staying 6 feet apart, but being near somebody. I feel as though like for me personally, it doesn't affect me as much, because before COVID dropped, I wasn't really going nowhere. Like if anything, I was going somewhere by myself, you know what I'm saying, or with Sky. So I wasn't really like in groups of people. And like now that I have like a car and all that, and I'm going places like by myself and all that, and like doing my own thing, it doesn't really affect me as much. Like, do I long for like that, like that group of activity? Yeah, like everybody does. But like, as far as when it comes to me, like I'm not really needy of it. Like I want it, but it doesn't drain me to like not have it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course, because everyone's different, obviously. Because if everyone was the same, the world would just be completely boring. Like that's why I just, and like being in that space or that time of isolation, especially in April last year when that was like everyone was freaking out. It was a good time to kind of reflect on myself and what I was doing with my life and what I wanted to do. So, it was a good time for me to kind of focus on what I want to do, what I need to fix with myself, what I'm passionate about. Which, obviously everyone needs some downtime. But
everybody do.
Yeah, of course. But then once it was like the end of summer, that's when I was starting to get a little antsy, and I was like, okay, I need to do something. And then that's when sports kind of came in, and I was just so thankful for that.
Man, I learned so much over like this past year, and like when we were in like COVID, like quarantine, isolation, whatever it was. I learned so much.
No.
Yeah, me and Sky.
No, me too. Like I've grown so much, like mentally and just physically, and my knowledge of my whole perception of everything has completely changed. I'm not the same person at all. Like if I were to look back at myself, I wouldn't even know who I am. And I think that self-growth is extremely important.
Yeah, no, definitely. I definitely feel that. We had I think it was a more of a private conversation that me and Sky had, but it's still a valid conversation. I do feel like people should know. We talked about like self-growth. I think this was on the podcast too. I think we had a private conversation and had it on the podcast, if I'm right about that, Sky.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah. But going from that, so we had a conversation about how growing like this time period really shows you like who's with you and who's not with you. You remember that? You remember that conversation?
Oh yeah, we had that.
Yeah, we had that conversation, and we had a conversation about like this is not a time to be lazy. Like this is a time to like be on grind time. Like there's a time for like you want to socialize, you want to go have fun, cool. But like this COVID time, there's like COVID really forcing everybody to really separate who lazy and who about their business. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So
no,
like
I completely agree with that.
Yeah, so like for me personally, again, I'm repeating myself, but it does separate the two. If you come out of COVID and you don't either learn something or you haven't really done nothing to change who you are as a person or change your views on certain things or really get some actual knowledge like about yourself, then you wasn't doing shit the entire time we was in COVID, and we still in COVID too. So
I know.
If you come out with nothing, like
I know. No, it's great. I started focusing on, well, obviously, you guys started doing the podcast and working, and I know that you were telling me about taking care of things, but for me, it was probably focusing on my health, because at the time, my physical and mental health were not okay at all, and I'm still working on it too. But I was having a lot of thyroid issues. It runs through my family.
Oh no, I get that.
Yeah, and I was just having, and I also have seasonal depression, which is not it. Let me just tell you that right now. So that's why another reason why sports, because it gets me outside and it just helps me with everything. But with COVID, I was doing so much research and so much work and changing my eating habits, changing my sleeping patterns, changing my routines, doing everything and anything under the sun, basically, just trying to figure out what works for me and what doesn't work for me, because it was a good time, because with school, we weren't in school, and it was just, I was more flexible with what I can do, and I figured out what's good for my body, which is so important for everyone, because if you're not in the right mindset to do anything, how are you going to succeed in life? It's just, you need to start from step one.
Exactly. And that was a loud noise. Anyway, I completely agree as far as, what you were saying is like getting yourself together. What are they doing? Anyway, I completely understand as far as like getting to like know yourself and exactly who you are as a person, and how that could be really important. And changing things about yourself and making sure that you're okay and that you're mentally able to move forward in your life. Because again, for obviously other people don't know, but we are in the stages of being on our own. You know what I'm saying? So like
definitely.
We now have the time, or COVID actually is bad and it's good. And it's odd to say that. I know it is for some people.
No, I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah, but COVID kind of gave us some help as far as, like school, because let's be honest, this shit a breeze.
Oh yeah.
No, I know, because when you go in, I feel like a zombie when I go in school. Like, now that I look back at it, I was like, oh my gosh, I was a zombie. And yes. It was just so mentally draining.
Yeah. Now, I don't mean to cut everybody off, but we do got 4 minutes left, so I'm gonna kind of slowly start to wrap it up. As far as, I think the main thing should be, you as a person have the right, or the human right, to take time for yourself and change anything that you want to change from you, because ain't no one gonna love you better than you love yourself at the end of the day. You may think, like, granted, a mother's love is unconditional, but you gotta have that same love for yourself. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly. The same love you put into yourself and give out to the world is what you're gonna receive.
Exactly.
Just saying that.
So I think that being said, I mean, I get the whole part again what Kelsey was saying, about like seasonal depression. Like, yeah, like I ain't gonna cap. I enjoy being alone. At the same time, that shit do get annoying. So like,
yeah.
I think I think the podcast and like other things that I do and like how I kind of connect with people, or how I set myself and represent others that I'm with as a group, or just even as my business alone, it allows me to connect with more people and kind of see different people's perspective on how life and all this stuff works and affects them. I get to learn about different things that I ain't ever get to learn about. Like, if I didn't do the podcast, I probably would be unknowledgeable about most of the stuff that I interview people on, if that makes sense, which is grateful. And I'm glad that I had the opportunity to like be able to talk to certain people and talk to people on this matter, or on the matters of topics that I had no knowledge of, that I had to look up and do research on. But as far as that being said, that's going to be the end of this episode. Now, I do want to let everybody know this episode was recorded in the month of season 1. So, I'll take that back. The next episode was recorded in the month of season 1. So that episode's older than this one. This one's obviously newer, but it's going to be the first episode y'all see. So as far as that being said, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to thank you guys for letting me come on here and talk to you. So thank you all.
Oh yeah, all love.
Yeah, no problem. Welcome back anytime. But as far as that's being said, I'm Donald Diggs.
I'm Scott P.
I'm Kelsey.
That's gonna be the end of episode 1 of season 2 at the Coffee Tavern.